Google's NotebookLM is one of the best tools for making a comprehensive research and learning. We can provide it any source such as PDF, link, website, or even a YouTube video. And then, for example, we can create out of it the slide deck, mind map, reports, infographic, and on top of that, we can learn together with AI and talk about the sources we provided. But the major problem here is that it requires manual setup. We still need to provide the sources, we need to click to just generate the content and so on. However, in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can combine Claude and NotebookLM to basically just do everything on autopilot. So our Claude's agent's gonna manage for us the sources, gonna add it automatically. We'll be able to talk with it to generate, for example, a slide deck, video, presentation. So overall, just work with the NotebookLM without literally touching it. And you can see the use case of it right now. I told Claude to literally open for me NotebookLM, create for me a new notebook, and add sources that are about OpenClaw. So it literally took some links, for example, from GitHub, OpenClaw official website, and other websites. Then what I did, I asked it to create a slide deck and video overview. And now when I go right here and I open basically our slide deck, I can notice this presentation is really comprehensive and really nice looking. So this is the slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. And once again, everything was done within Claude Code by literally speaking with Claude what should be done. And the last thing we did, we've got here an audio overview.
Imagine for a second that you are...
So this is the discussion of all of the sources we've got here, and the goal of it is to explain the topic as easy as possible with really nicely digestible content, which is an audio overview, so two people speaking. And again, as you can see, everything was done within Claude by just literally connecting firstly the Claude to NotebookLM. I'm gonna show you that in this video. I prepared for you step-by-step process. But afterwards, what it does, it runs commands, it runs on our computer, and it does everything in the background. So it's a huge time saver because instead you just searching for some sources, like adding all the sources that are the most relevant, for example, for OpenClaw, you can ask Claude. You can ask it to create notebooks, generate content, or for example, fetch for you some notebooks from NotebookLM and do other stuff. So without being said, we can get started with the proper integration. So the integration contains two steps. The first one is downloading the file I prepared for you here, and the second one is running a prompt inside Claude Code, which is exactly this one. So I'm gonna put the link to this entire page in the resources of this material. So first you can download this file and then run this, but what we are gonna do it in a while. But the thing I wanna mention is that there is a repository on the internet, which is provided by this user, so Tanklin, that actually contains all the file scripts that explain Claude how to literally connect to NotebookLM and use it within the application itself. So big shout out for the user, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to use Claude Code with NotebookLM. This repository gives Claude an ability to once again use NotebookLM. Right now we can go back to Claude, and the first step is gonna be to add our skill inside Claude. So we can go to skills, and then firstly download this entire skill and add it, let's go here, and add it to our instance. And the second step will be all about copying this entire prompt. So we can go here and copy it, and now just pasting it inside Claude Code. And what it says, run the entire NotebookLM configuration procedure in Claude Code, and we've got here the repository provided by me. So inside what do we have? Let's wait. Inside we've got a skill and script. Then we've got also open the authentication page in the browser and run through the steps. Once complete, we should be able to run requests and tasks in Claude Code for NotebookLM. We can literally run it. First, we need to select a folder. We can run it. Of course, I did it. However, once you run it, it's gonna guide you through the entire setup step by step. Okay. However, we've got a few different things. The first one is that if you haven't used Claude Code before, now it's gonna ask you many times for approving some actions. For example, run some commands in terminal. To bypass this thing, we can go ahead to settings, then we can go ahead to Claude Code tab, And now we've got an option, allow bypass permission mode. However, you need to be aware that it can be sometimes dangerous. So make sure firstly to see best practices for safe usage. And once you do this and you come back to Claude Code, you're not required to approve any action at all. So you can just select an option bypass permissions, so you accept all permissions here. And once again, be aware of the consequences, so read the article. So now, once we did it, for example, I did it like last time, and then, for example, we are able to fetch some, for example, notebooks we've got here. We are able to create the notebooks and do all of the stuff. Another note is that it may ask you to literally log into your Google account, okay? Because it needs to have the authentication. Also, if it opens for you the terminal, you may be asked to just press enter after logging in, because it's gonna save the login credentials and just save the authentication. And the last thing, if you have any problems with setting it up, just talk with Claude Code, because sometimes many of you may have different problems, different issues. So the solution for that is that just talking with Claude Code and literally just paying attention what Claude Code says. So just really reading what it says, following the steps, and for example, additionally asking to proceed the process. Additionally, if it asks you to, let's say, write something in the terminal, and by the way, it's gonna give you the exact sentence to type. However, you can still ask it to do it for you, because we've got something like computer use, so it can take control over your computer and write in the terminal, so you don't need to do anything at all, just write with Claude Code. But now, once we have it set up, we can do some action. So the first thing we want to do is to start a new session, and now I can type, please fetch for me, or even give me, 3 random notebooks from NotebookLM. And then by this way, you're gonna see if it's integrated, if it works. So now it's gonna give us 3 notebooks, and if any errors persist here, you're gonna know that it's not fully set up and you need to do, for example, some troubleshooting. But now what you can see, it runs some commands. It used the skill, which is NotebookLM we uploaded previously, and then it gave me 3 notebooks. So Sapiens, Adobe Firefly, YouTube Growth, Agents. So now we can go even further, and I can ask, create for me a new notebook that's gonna be about, what we can do here, let's say about 5 or even 3 trending AI tools in 2026. Get for me the sources. Okay, so we can ask for it, and literally it should first it searches the web and it should create the notebook for us in NotebookLM. And afterwards, we add the sources. We are able, for example, to create some content out of it. Let's say slide deck, or I don't know, video, some summary. So we can see it found the top trending tools. Now it's gonna create a notebook, and it runs commands. Okay, so once again, we connected Claude Code to NotebookLM, and we can see notebook created. Now adding 3 sources, 1 for each trending tool: Cursor, Perplexity, and Windsurf. We can go even to our browser and go ahead to NotebookLM and just take a look. Let's refresh. And we have 3 trending AI tools in 2026. Everything done literally without us touching NotebookLM. So top 10 best AI tools for 2026, top 46 AI tools in 2026. That's perfect, okay? So it works. And then what I can do, I can run the next request. Now, please create for me a slide deck. Just use an option that's named like this in NotebookLM. When it comes to design, decide for me. And additionally, let's see, we can create, for example, let's say, maybe a quiz. And additionally, generate generate for me a quiz inside here. Right. So let's wait. All right, so it says slide deck done. The quiz hit a bug. Let me fix it. When we go here to our browser, we can see like we are generating the slide deck and generating a quiz. And now it seems everything works. So it runs commands and yeah, generates a quiz. Perfect. We can wait for the final result. So the quiz was generated. Let's wait until it loads here. And yeah, it looks really great. So we can select an option. Yeah, that's perfect. And now let's take a look. Yeah, our slide deck is still being generated. Okay, so the slide deck is generated. It took some time to do this, but actually we've got something really nice. The graphics are super cool, like very professional, I would say. So yeah, the entire slide deck like this. What do you think about it? We've got 15 slides. Looks really nice. Also, it's very professional. We don't have any, I don't know, like any wrong parts or the design like errors inside, I would say. Yeah, that's perfect. By the way, if you want to download it, you can do this here and download it in the PDF format or PPTX, so PowerPoint. I'm going to put it also in the resources of this material so we can preview that presentation. Now, regarding the fact we can do all of these things, so create notebook inside Claude Code, like literally write with Claude Code, like generate different outputs and so on, we can take a look at a feature that's gonna be super useful. So scheduled tab. So we can create a new task and just say and let know Claude Code to literally run for us a task which is gonna be about research and let's say creating a slide deck every day. So I can name it as, let's say, tools updates. And I can say, I'm going to give a description. This scheduled task, or even let's go ahead and just paste it here. I'm going to explain in the description box. I'm going to explain in the task box itself. Also, we can bypass the permissions. And now I'm going to just write something like, use NotebookLM skill provided and make a research in NotebookLM about any interesting updates for trending and famous AI tools. On top of that, create a slide deck about the update so we can preview it and potentially use for social media posts. Let's schedule it for, I don't know, like 11 a.m. daily. And now when we create that task, every day it's gonna make a research with NotebookLM and create a slide deck. Additionally, we can use it, for example, for making posts or whatever you think, okay, whatever you invent. So with that capability, once again, Claude Code with NotebookLM, we can do many stuff. We can, for example, schedule tasks, like everything that comes with research and like using all the features we have literally inside NotebookLM. Maybe you just want to create the mind map every day, flashcards, I don't know, quiz, data table, and so on. Like the only limit is your imagination, and I know all of you like get amazing ideas and you invent a lot of amazing ideas. So I'm curious what you're gonna invent. So yeah, right now this task can run. I can run it now. But I would say for now, for this video, that's everything. Let me know what you think about it, about this capability of connecting Claude Code with NotebookLM. Remember, if you have any problems with setup and so on, just talk with Claude Code until you solve the issues. So it's gonna help you, it's gonna work. And for now, once again, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next material.